This is Wake Up New Bedford, and I am here with Trajic Montalvo. Trajic, thanks for being here once again.
What's going on? What's going on? So part two.
Part two. So, one thing I did want to ask you about, because I appreciate the fit, when did you realize fashion was a big deal for you?
Oh man, yeah, from the beginning. From the beginning, because like I said, I thought, immediately fame, money, cars, clothes, all that stuff, jewelry. So as soon as I started rapping, I was like, oh, I want to look like the rappers too, so I would pay attention to what they would wear, the ones that I thought would wear cool fits, because not all of them have fashion.
Sure.
Definitely some like ASAP Rocky and stuff like that, when I started seeing what they were doing and the way they were changing up fashion. Not that I agreed with everything, but some of it I was just like, I liked the risk they were taking. I liked it sometimes how the simplicity could look so dope, or how he had just a bunch of things going on where it was like far from simplistic, but it still went with the fit. The shoes with the jeans with the sweater with the shirt, chain with the earrings, all that. I mean, big on fashion. I try to support the fashion community as well too. I go to fashion like shows and events and stuff like that. I try to support that stuff too. I try to support everybody's stuff, you know what I mean? But definitely when I'm into it, you'll see me there. You might even see me at like one of those, what is it called, Comic-Cons and stuff, like, because I get into that stuff, so I support it all.
So you bring up Comic-Con, that immediately just made me think of, like, I'm big into anime. Like, are you inspired a lot by what you watch also?
Oh, yeah. I'm overall a movie nerd. Like, anybody that knows me, it's like movies. Movies and me, I can go on for days. I do the shows here and there. Anime definitely opened up my eyes recently to, like, different shows in that topic, because like I grew up Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Bleach here and there, Yu Yu Hakusho, stuff like that. But then, the game changed ever since, the last couple of years. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of different cool stuff, Demon Slayer, all this other stuff. So it's like, it definitely opened up my eyes to opening up to shows more. Not that anime don't have movies, I love their movies too, but shows I'm definitely going to start getting into more, so.
Is that part of the reason for why you wanted to visit Japan too?
Yes, of course. Like I said, their culture all around, just like from the food to what they watch, to their fashion. I mean, just everything is amazing to me.
And so, you brought up the first song you wrote. How many projects do you have out right now?
My catalog is, I know somebody with a longer catalog than me that I talked to recently, and they impressed me because I was like, holy crap, your catalog's amazing. But they even admitted to me, they were like, yeah, but not everything on my catalog is, A1. Some of it's kind of like, maybe shouldn't have released that. And I kind of felt that too. And my catalog, there's probably like a handful of songs I was just kind of like recently heard that I was like, I could probably did without releasing that. But all in all, my catalog, I can play my playlist throughout a whole work shift and not one of my songs will repeat.
Wow.
I have one, I think, album released on social platforms. One that is nowhere on social platforms. I sold that off social platforms a couple years ago. I have numerous mixtapes on different mixtapes websites, like probably like 6 or 7 of them. And those are mine, not even the ones I'm on. Features as well. Not counting features, how many songs I'm on features, but I have a bunch of features as well. And singles, I mean, the best way to find all my singles, you can't get them all on one platform. I realize that. The most you would probably get on a platform will be YouTube. You go to YouTube, you can probably see my life on YouTube. When you Google Trajic Montalvo, you will find anything and everything I've ever touched, every website, every social platform, every event. You'll see pictures of me when I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? Little photo shoots and everything. But if you type in Andres Montalvo, you won't find a single thing. I've built my whole life around my career. You know what I mean? My catalog, I would just say, is kind of at this point built nice and hefty, but it's definitely going to grow a lot more.
And so, where did you find the name Trajic?
Oh, I was definitely around like 15, 16. I had problems with some like local gang members, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And me and my friends, we were at a sister's party. I've actually told this story before on a TV show and other interviews, so I'll try to like sum it up. But more or less, I had to leave my sister's party to avoid problems at her birthday party. And we ended up leaving, me and all my people, and I saw a soda bottle. Probably a local like soda stand or whatever, because it wasn't like a Pepsi or Coca-Cola or something. It was like a knockoff or something. But on the bottle, it said Trajic, and that drew my attention for some reason. I was so aggravated and agitated at that point. We're walking around the city and stuff, and like I looked at that, and I kind of told myself, I was like, that's what my life feels like right now. Like, it just feels tragic. No matter where I go, what I do, something's crumbling, something's falling, something's breaking. Like, I can't get it right. So I ended up calling myself Trajic, and ironically, it started helping me find my path.
And do you feel like that describes a lot of what you go through in life?
No, I think it describes what I've been through.
Okay.
Now I don't consider myself going through any type of tragedy or anything like that. I feel like everything I'm going through has to happen. I've made peace with a lot of the negativities in my life and try to turn them into positives.
Where do you feel like you got that mentality from?
Probably my kids. My kids changed my life. I have two of them, two boys. I have an 11-year-old and I have a 2-year-old in 3 days.
Yeah.
And they changed me. They brought the best out of me. They made me see value in life. They brought the light to me. If it wasn't for them, I'd probably be a complete crash out, as the younger generation would say. But
yeah.
They definitely keep me afloat. They keep me with that man mentality, because at the end of the day, that's what I am, and that's what I want them to be, a man.
Absolutely. And so, when you realized from a young age that YouTube was a great platform in order to put your stuff on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Where did you get that idea from?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to sound like a dinosaur, but like I was in when YouTube first was rocking. Like Soulja Boy was like the first rapper on
Yeah,
YouTube.
for sure.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Soulja Boy was legit one of the first rappers on YouTube, and when I seen that, and I seen the you and the dance, and I was just like, oh, whoa, he's blowing up off just posting videos, dancing and this and that. And me and my friends was like, all right, we started recording each other, like I said, just kind of chilling in the house, rapping some bars towards the camera, this and that, and we saw the views kind of stacking up. 50 here, 100 here, 150 here, and we were like, hey, people are actually watching us. You know, let's keep making some noise, let's keep giving them what they want. Started doing a bunch of remixes and mixtapes, and started building that buzz up, like, hey, there's that rapper, there's that rapper, there's that rapper. And now it's like they really call me by my name, so it's like that. I love that feeling. It's not, hey, there's that rapper, like, hey, that's Trajic. You're Trajic, right? Yes, yes, I am. I love it more when my chain's on me, because I kind of look at my chain kind of like,
For sure, yeah.
it says Trajic. I'm walking with a sign that says it.
Okay, so you have a chain that says Trajic. Okay.
Oh yeah. I love jewelry. That's one thing about me. I do love jewelry. I have all different types, all different kinds. I don't just stick to one. When I was younger, I used to be like strictly gold. I don't know why. I was just biased against other jewelry. I was like, just gold touches my skin. But nah, after a while, I started opening my eyes to a bunch of other types of jewelry. I actually know people who make jewelry now, so I've learned a lot about jewelry as well too.
And do you see that as something you just get because you enjoy, or do you see it as more an investment to the look of being a rapper?
Both. Both. It was a tax write-off, you know, because it is a part of my...
Really?
It's a part of my...
Your brand.
Exactly. When I perform, when I do music videos, that chain always comes on. So it's a part of my uniform.
Sure.
So I had to write that off. So yes, as a business aspect, yes, it is an investment. But it is a guilty pleasure as well.
For sure.
Like I said, I love jewelry. So it's like, it's nothing to me to be like, it's not breaking bones to be like, oh, I need a Trajic ring. No, I'm kind of excited, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But I have to have that mentality to make sure it says Trajic Montalvo, keep my receipts, write it off at the end of the year, and make sure that the IRS doesn't come for me.
So how difficult was navigating being financially literate, especially in the music industry, and where did you learn that from?
It was a fickled bee, you know what I mean, for lack of better words, you know what I mean? It was just like, I didn't know anything. They don't teach us this.
Yeah, at all. Yeah.
At all, in school or anything. Not even parents, unfortunately, because they weren't taught it either. So I had to teach myself it. I had to start really buckling down and realizing that my dollar has to make it till tomorrow if I want to keep this career going, if I want to keep this dream rolling. You know, I started paying attention to a lot of successful people, regardless if they were musicians or not. There were musicians that I paid attention to, like Russ, and you know what I mean? Just a bunch of other artists I saw financially kind of taking care of themselves. So shout out to them. But also other people that didn't do music, artists, you know, even construction workers. If I saw them comfortable at life, I wanted to have a conversation with them.
Okay.
I wanted to know what was I missing? What piece was it that they figured out that I haven't yet? You know what I mean? Any business. So it's like they say, you watch your company, you watch who's around you.
Yeah.
You put yourself around successful minds, eventually your mind's going to start thinking successfully.
Do you feel like you were always a pretty extroverted person?
Yes, in a sense. Yeah, I mean, I can be very closed off too. I have my moments and stuff, especially if like I'm emotionally going through stuff, you know what I mean? Being a guy, the way I grew up, it was like very macho man-y lifestyle. Everything is like, you know, boys don't cry type, you know? But it's like eventually you have to learn that you got to make peace with yourself. You got to learn yourself. You got to know your emotions. You keep running from them, you're not going to know anything about yourself.
Yeah, it is really important to be in touch with every part of who you are, you know, and if you close it out, you're only going to be hurting yourself.
Oh yeah, me being in tune with my emotions doesn't make me any less vicious.
No,
you know
of course.
what I mean? Like I try to, you know what I mean, keep it well balanced.
And so do you feel like music is really your only outlet as far as for expressing who you are and working through your emotions?
No, because I've learned how to do anime, draw. I've painted on the side. I do it all. I read books now. I find anything to kind of keep my brain active.
When did you first realize that you could have a visual artist side of you?
Once I started being called an artist and no longer a rapper. Once I started making moves that actually had established my name. Shout out to ArtNet. ArtNet was a big part of that. I started getting grants from the city for being Trajic Montalvo. Went over here to the bank, our local bank. They gave me a Trajic Montalvo bank account. And from there I was like, this means something. You know, I have a card now that's strictly for my career. So I had to stay tight and stay on top of all that.
And is that really you staying on top of that, like just by yourself, or does your team like help you stay accountable, or are you pretty good at that just by yourself?
I mean, keeping track of my finances is always me. I feel like that's any man's responsibility to keep track of their own finances, but they definitely play a part when it comes to the financial revenue. Because without them, I wouldn't be able to sell the merch or to share the music, get those views that gets me the, you know, $100 at the end of the month or whatever, you know, or 200 if I'm lucky. You know, just like they are the promo team, they are the family, they are a part of me. If they don't play their part, I don't go anywhere.
Which part of the industry or what you're involved in right now musically brings in the most amount of money?
I would say it used to be the merchandise, but I haven't been putting out as much merchandise because I haven't had as much content out. So I've been dropping a lot of content. That's not pulling in as much revenue either. So I would say right now it's more or less my side, I don't want to say side businesses because that's such a lack of better words for it, but my endeavors that I pick up because of my music career. Like the teaching job I just mentioned.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump right back into that. Project Thrive. Big shout out to Project Thrive.
Talk about it.
Started this Thursday. I will be teaching at the high school, at the Whaling City High School. And I'll be teaching these kids music, how to write it, how to perform it, how to feel confident, and how to basically start their careers up. And I'm going to be doing that for the next 7 Thursdays, every Thursday for the next following Thursdays. That right there was big to me because it wasn't like a job where they pay you hourly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, in a sense they are, but it's a check. They're writing you a check. This is what they're doing. They're saying, hey, this amount of money is what I want for your, you know, knowledge. And they'll be like, I'll cut you this half when you show up, and the other half when the job is done. And when you see that amount of money coming at you all at once, like the grants, it's like, it feels good. It's like, wow, that feels good. That's like rainy day fun right there. That's like, I can be assured now that I'm going to be okay. You know, if I hit a bumpy road, I can handle it. Features as well. Features usually bring in a good amount of revenue because I don't just do normal features. I don't just record a song on somebody's open verse and send it back to them on an email and be like, hey, best of luck, hope you get 1,000 views. Like, no, I give them my all. I expect what I would pay for because I do pay for features. So when people get upset with me when they're like, hey, I have to pay you for a feature, you thought that I didn't have to pay Tess, who is signed to Free Bands? Of course I had to pay him. He literally hangs out with Future. You know what I mean? Like, they chill in the same room. You know what I mean? I'm not in the same room as him. But the same thing I explain to these people, you know what I mean, that want to pay me for features, that don't want to pay me for features, but haven't made their way into this room that me and you are in. But if I could say their name and get them a little bit of promo and a little more attention, it would help them. but they don't want to pay for that. They don't want it all given. They just want, someone that's worked their butt off to just hand all that work over to them. No, that's not how that works either. In a business aspect, that's not how it works. In a personal aspect, yes, that would be amazing for someone to personally just take care of somebody else and do all that, but that's time right there.
Yeah.
That's time you're taking away from that person and their personal life and things they could be handling.
So how do you define success? Do you already feel successful, or is there a mountain you're looking forward to that'll really make you feel like you've made it?
I feel I'm on my way to being as successful as I would like to be. But I am, in a sense, rich. I know I'm rich. I wake up every morning realizing I'm rich because I am awake, for one. For two, I take care of me. I pay my bills. I have a house. I have a job. I have everything I need to be successful. So I'm already rich. I have my kids. They're healthy.
Yeah.
I have my family. I'm here with you getting interviewed. I'm going to get my name viewed in places I haven't seen them before. Life is internally good, and I need to be grateful for it.
Absolutely.
Yes, there's bad. Yes, there's wrongs, and I could talk about them too and vent about them, but it won't necessarily fix them either.
Couldn't agree more. So does faith play a part in your life at all? Has it really just been like personal motivation?
I would like to believe in destiny, but I definitely think faith is a little more of a realistic. Is a little more realistic to me. You know what I mean? Having faith can bring somebody a long way. Having that believe something. The mind is a powerful thing.
It is.
Is a powerful thing. My mother was an immigrant that came to this country. Like I said, I know poverty. I got kicked out of the projects. You know what I mean? They straight up took me out of the projects. Said, you can't even be here. You know what I mean? And we moved from the streets every month to a new apartment. So it was like I came from nothing. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody outside of my circle, my 7 to 8 friends. You know what I mean? But I believed I was the main character in every movie. I believed that I was the face when people walk in. I believed I could just take over the world. And if I believed it hard enough, people will remember my name.
And you feel like that mentality really came from you, or were you inspired by something in order to feel like you were the main character?
I mean, it definitely came from inside of me, but like I said, my family, my supporters, my team, they helped me believe that too. They saw it in me. When I would say to them, they wouldn't call me crazy. They would look at me and be like, yeah, you are. My right hand, Rizzy, shout out to him, he does it on a constant basis. When I doubt myself and I'm just like, oh, got this show and I'm nervous and and it's in 2 hours, and he'll look at me in my face and be like, yo, you're Trajic, you're that dude. Like, what do you mean? Go do your thing. You got this. You're gonna kill it. Call me when you're done.
So do you still get nervous?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Anybody who says they don't, I want to know their secret. I get sweaty palms, I get nervous, all that, and sometimes I hide it very well. So I've been told that too. People tell me like, oh, you look so confident. I've even heard this one, which was kind of funny when the people meet me. I've heard it a couple times. Oh, you seem taller on camera. I love that one. It's like, oh, you're shorter in person. Yes, it's because I get it. When I'm on camera and my energy and my, confidence and everything, it makes that just uplift feel. And my cameramen know how to angle. But still. All the same, yes, the confidence and all that stuff it definitely plays its part.
So, as someone else who's short, okay, do you feel like that was ever a hurdle you had to get over, or do you ever feel like you were underestimated because of your height?
Yeah, definitely. Mainly by males, because especially like in the music careers, like I got embraced by females. Females were like my first fan base. They were just kind of like, word, you know what I mean? They bought the merch, they shared, they were this and that. But I'm not gonna lie, once I started having kids, the female fan base started slowly.
It's like he's off the market now. Okay, sure.
Shout out to the ones that still show support though. It's about the music. But guys, definitely, I always got that that feeling that we're just kind of always like, oh, this little guy is Trajic, like, oh, this and that, and it definitely at first was something I felt I had to overcome or do something about or whatever. But after a while, I noticed that, like I had mentioned earlier, my energy alone is what's provoking that. It's what's bringing that up. So I don't need to do much. I don't need to defend my case. I don't need to sit here and be like, I'm not that short. because the fact that it's even drawing your attention, I'm drawing your attention.
Do you feel like you've been able to leave the streets behind, or is that something that still, you know, is still in your life?
So, I like to think of it like this. I know where I'm from. I know where I came from. I know everything I've been through. I just want better for everybody, not even just myself. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I just want better for everybody. We all should be doing better.
So you're on the road of positivity.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you have Project Thrive that you've brought up. What are some other things you're looking forward to in the future?
Well, Project Thrive definitely has been around my mind. I got my folder. I'm ready to see my students.
For sure.
I want to go out there and just, give all this knowledge. I want to drop these jewels. I want to see who picks them up and what they do with them. I want to see the next Drake. You know what I mean? I want to be like, hey, I knew that kid. But I'll be headlining the show next month. Shout out to Libsy. You'll be sharing. Yeah, everybody will be seeing me post these posters and stuff. This man Libsy is an artist in New Bedford. He's been doing crazy things. He started this new thing, which is new to this area at least, where you're not paying to perform as an artist. So if you're an artist listening to me, I know you're understanding what I'm saying. You know how they charge you to perform when you want to show people your talent and your art, and they're like, hey, we'll let you do that if you pay us. We'll let you entertain our guests if you pay us. That OV sounded twisted to me. It never really made sense. Even when it was opening up for someone big, it's like, yeah, I get it. You're having an opportunity to be seen because this big name person's gonna be here. But no one feels good being told that you have to pay someone to show them your art, a piece of you. Libsy changing the game right now. He's paying you artists to perform out his own pocket.
Really?
He is a local artist himself too, on his way to be a universal too, if he doesn't already see himself like one, like I do myself. But he's changing the game, and he hit me up. This second show he's already paying me for, but this one I'm headlining. He told me, he was like, Trajic, like, yo, I need you to headline. You're gonna kill it. Let's do this. Let's get this. I said, let's do it. So make sure you come to that show next month. Libsy's show, Wushi Gang, Trajic Montalvo, I'll be headlining. There'll be other artists too, and I know they're going to be fire. Because if they're opening it up for me, I'm going to be in the crowd with everybody else listening and watching too.
That's dope.
Besides that, I do have a single I just dropped last night. It's called Body, Trajic Montalvo Body. It is an Aaliyah sample. So all my 90s babies out there, I know you was like, Aaliyah? Yes, Aaliyah.
Sure.
It's a sample to one of her songs, Somebody. And I kind of did my thing to it like I always do, a little remix, a little, we mix. You know what I mean? That's my thing. We bang gang, y'all already know we all we got. But Aaliyah sample, y'all have to hear it. The beat alone had me like amazed. So I had to write something to it. Now it's a little provocative, so yeah, I'm saying I want to advise you to listen to it around any youngins or nothing. But definitely worth listening to. Awesome song, 90s feel to it. I have another new song coming as well. I kind of drop them every month. Anybody who has been keeping up with me knows this. But I think I'm going to start speeding it up on you guys. I think I'm going to start dropping them every 2 weeks now. Because I have a vault. I have a whole vault full of songs. I just pick and choose when I release or when I need to release. And sometimes some songs just don't need to be released. But I guess we'll get there and we'll see when I start releasing how you guys feel about it.
And so, what's the main platform that you communicate with your fans on? Because, I mean, I found you... So, even before I found you, do you know Big Chan?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Chan.
Yeah, so I interviewed Chan maybe a month ago, and I'm going to put out that interview soon. But I asked her who are the biggest artists in this area that I should know about, and your name popped up. And that's how I was able to get in contact with you.
Shout out Chan.
And so, one, do you feel like artists are able to really work together nowadays?
Yes, I think so. I think communication is key. I think communication is key. When artists are going to be working with each other, especially when they're from the same city, communication is key. Talk to each other. Figure out what the end goal is and how you're going to get there. And sure enough, I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. But it has to be strong in communication and understanding.
And do you feel like it's hard to, I mean, like you came here when you were 6 and you were pretty much raised here. So do you feel like it's hard to come up in the same city that you were raised in?
Yes, very much so, because I had a decent fan base in New Bedford, and I appreciate you, New Bedford, I really do. But what took me out of the water and really started bringing me to other states and other countries was other states and other countries. I had to reach out to people in Chicago, and Florida, and New York, and all these places, and tell them, hey, listen to me, check this out, give me 3 minutes of your time. And they would listen to it. Not everyone liked it, but the ones that did, they shared it, they commented, they did the things that are free.
Yeah.
It's free to share, comment, and like. It's free to do those things.
Free to show love, bro.
Yo, and they did that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, now I went from checking my analytics and having one listener in Illinois to waking up next week and having 4 or 5 listeners in Illinois because they shared it, and 4 or 5 out of the 100 they had on Facebook liked it. And sure enough, that kept, you know, the repeating of that kept going so much that now I look at my analytics and it's like UK, you know, Spain, Guatemala, Jamaica, like,
that's crazy.
what? You know what I mean? Especially since I started doing a lot more of the club music, so I get that too. You know what I mean? Us Caribbean people, we love dancing, so it's like I get that. You know what I mean? But that's also a part of my journey. I enjoy making that type of music. I don't do it anymore just for the fame and just for the name and just for this and that. I do it because it feels good. It feels right. It feels like I should be doing this.
And so I brought up Chan because I found you on Instagram. So where do you feel like most of your interactions come from with fans?
Facebook, easily. Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
And YouTube.
YouTube was like the first one, but obviously YouTube is not like other platforms. It's kind of just, you know, watching videos and commenting and stuff. I mean, you could communicate with other people, but it would be in the comment section.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in the live chat. Facebook is different. You got the comment section, you got DMs, you got pictures, you got all that.
Yeah.
Facebook, I've had multiple Facebooks. I technically have 3 Facebooks.
Okay.
I have a musician one, and I have a personal one that's not really kind of personal because I just post music on there anyways too, and then my musician one. And I think all 3 of them actually maxed out. I realized this the other day or something. Like I can't even add friends no more. I think or something like that. Like I think we just have to follow each other at this point. So I maximized how many people I could really reach out to, on Facebook and stuff like that. So Facebook's definitely one of the biggest platforms where people can keep in contact with me. I feel like I'm more active on there too, probably because I have family and stuff on there too that I don't see on the regular.
Yeah.
So I do check out that app the most. Instagram, which the fact that you brought that up, I was just like, yeah, Instagram, I'm not on Instagram as much as I probably should be. I want to be on Instagram more. I just feel like I have a lot of dead followers now.
Sure.
I've had an Instagram for so long.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I recently took a little break when I was going through what I was going through, and then, you know, politics, everybody gets into that stuff, and, you know, it just becomes vicious, you know, and especially the more attention you draw to yourself, the more people are going to have to say about you.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I would like to be on Instagram more. I guess I just have to find the right type of followers to interact with.
Sure. And so that really wraps up part 2. That really wraps up our interview. Trajic, I feel like I've learned a lot about you, but I know the fans will. And so I appreciate you taking the time to be on here. And for everyone watching, this has been Wake Up New Bedford with Trajic Montalvo. And you can check him out on any social media. You know, he's kind of around. And check out his music and see him in a show near you. Okay?
Yeah.
Trajic, thanks. This has been Wake Up New Bedford. Peace.